What if the most feared creature in the land held the key to an ancient prophecy? Can you ever imagine an encounter with a giant black snake? Want to know about this interesting story? Stay tuned in today's video. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, Naseeha Studio. Today we will discuss an incredible story of Prophet Isa and Black Snake. In the rich tapestry of Islamic tradition, stories of the prophets serve as timeless lessons of faith, patience, and divine power. Among these stories, the life and miracles of Prophet Isa stand out as a beacon of hope and spiritual wisdom. Yet, within the folds of his well-known narrative lies a lesser-known, yet equally fascinating tale, a story that intertwines the prophet with a fearsome black snake, leading to an extraordinary journey of faith and divine intervention. The encounter with the black snake. The story begins on a day like any other, with Prophet Isa traveling through a remote and desolate region, far from the bustling towns and cities where he often preached. The landscape was barren, with rocky outcrops and sparse vegetation stretching as far as the eye could see. The sky above was a vast expanse of blue, with the sun hanging high, casting long shadows on the ground. As Prophet Isa walked, deep in contemplation and prayer, he suddenly felt a strange presence. It was as if the very air around him had changed, growing heavy with an unseen force. His footsteps slowed, and his senses heightened as if alert to an approaching danger. It was then that he saw it, a black snake, coiled on a rock, its eyes glinting with an unnatural light. The snake was unlike any other, its scales dark as midnight, absorbing the sunlight rather than reflecting it. Its presence was both mesmerizing and menacing, a creature that seemed to belong to another realm altogether. Prophet Isa paused, observing the snake with a calm and measured gaze. There was no fear in his heart, for he knew that all creatures, great and small, were under the dominion of the Almighty. Yet, there was something about this snake that set it apart from the others he had encountered in his travels. The snake, too, seemed aware of the prophet's presence. It did not strike or retreat, but remained still, as if waiting for something. There was a tension in the air, a silent standoff between the prophet and the serpent, each assessing the other. The atmosphere was thick with an unspoken challenge. Prophet Isa knew this was no ordinary creature. Its presence radiated a dark energy that hinted at a deeper, more profound meaning. He understood that this encounter was a test, one that would reveal both the true nature of the snake and the depth of his own faith. The snake's gaze was unblinking, its eyes glowing with a malevolent intelligence. It was as though the creature was probing the prophet's soul, searching for a weakness, a flicker of doubt it could exploit. But Prophet Isa stood firm, his heart filled with the light of faith, his mind clear and focused. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the snake began to move. It uncoiled itself from the rock, its body flowing like liquid shadow across the ground. It circled the prophet slowly, its movements deliberate and calculated. The air around them grew colder, and the ground beneath their feet seemed to tremble slightly, as if the earth itself was aware of the significance of this moment. The snake then raised its head, looking directly into the eyes of Prophet Isa. Its voice, when it spoke, was a low, sibilant whisper that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Why do you walk this path, O prophet?" the snake hissed. "Do you not know the dangers that lie ahead? The darkness that lurks in the hearts of men? Why do you persist in your mission when the world is so full of evil?" Prophet Isa met the snake's gaze without flinching. His voice was steady and resolute as he replied, "I walk this path because it is the will of the Almighty. The darkness may be great, but the light of faith is greater. I do not fear the evil in the hearts of men, for I know that even the darkest heart can be turned towards the light." The snake's eyes narrowed, and it seemed to grow larger, its body expanding until it loomed over the prophet. "And what of me?" it hissed. "Do you think your light can banish the darkness within me?" Prophet Isa regarded the snake with compassion. "You are a creature of the Almighty like all others. You have the power to choose your path, just as I do. The light of faith can banish any darkness if one is willing to embrace it." The snake recoiled slightly, as if stung by the prophet's words. It seemed to hesitate, as though considering its next move. Then, with a sudden burst of speed, It lunged at Prophet Isa, its fangs bared and dripping with venom. But the prophet was not taken by surprise. With a calm and deliberate movement, he raised his hand, and a brilliant light emanated from his palm, shining directly into the eyes of the snake. The creature hissed in pain, recoiling once more, its body writhing as if in agony. The light from Prophet Isa's hand grew brighter and brighter, until it seemed to fill the entire landscape. The snake, unable to withstand the intensity of the light, finally collapsed to the ground, its body quivering as the darkness within it was driven out. For a moment, all was silent. Then, slowly, the snake began to change. Its black scales began to fade, replaced by a radiant white, and its eyes, once filled with malice, now shone with a soft, gentle light. The transformation was complete. The snake was no longer a creature of darkness, but one of light. The newly transformed snake looked up at Prophet Isa with gratitude and reverence. "You have saved me, O Prophet," it said, its voice now free of malice. "You have shown me the power of the light, and for that I am forever in your debt." Prophet Isa smiled kindly. "Go now and spread the light to others. Let your transformation be a beacon of hope for all who struggle in darkness." The snake bowed its head in acknowledgement before slithering away into the distance, its radiant form a testament to the power of faith and the possibility of redemption. Prophet Isa watched it go, his heart filled with peace, knowing that another soul had been saved from the darkness. The snake's origin. The black snake was no ordinary serpent. It was a creature born of darkness, its origin rooted in the ancient days when the forces of evil first began to stir in the world. The snake had once been a servant of the light, a guardian of sacred places, but it had been corrupted by the whispers of the fallen ones, those who had turned away from the path of righteousness. In its corrupted state, the snake had become a vessel of malevolent power, its very presence a blight on the land. It roamed the earth, seeking to spread its darkness wherever it went, poisoning the hearts of those it encountered with fear and despair. But the snake was also a creature of destiny. Its path was intertwined with that of the prophets, for it had been foretold that one day it would meet its match in a man of great faith, a man who would reveal the true nature of the serpent and bring about its redemption or destruction. The confrontation. As Prophet Isa stood before the black snake, he knew that this was no ordinary encounter. The snake was a test, a challenge sent by the Almighty to measure his faith and resolve. He understood that the snake was not merely a physical creature, but a manifestation of the darker forces that sought to undermine his mission. With this realization, Prophet Isa spoke to the snake, his voice calm and steady. "What is your purpose here, O creature of darkness? Why do you stand in my path?" The snake, to the surprise of anyone who might have witnessed this encounter, responded in a voice that was both hissing and melodic, a sound that sent shivers down the spine. "I am the harbinger of shadows, the embodiment of fear and doubt. I am here to test your faith, to see if you truly believe in the power of the one who sent you." Prophet Isa remained unshaken. "You are but a creature, created by the same hand that created the heavens and the earth. Your power is nothing before the might of the Almighty. I fear not the darkness, for the light of faith guides my way." The snake's eyes narrowed, its tongue flickering as it sensed the unwavering faith of the prophet. It knew that this was no ordinary man, but a chosen one, a prophet whose heart was pure and whose resolve was unbreakable. Yet the snake was bound by its nature to challenge him, to push him to the limits of his faith. "Then let us see," the snake hissed. "If your faith can withstand the trials that lie ahead. Let us see if the light within you can banish the darkness that I bring." The trials. The snake's words were not empty threats. As it spoke, the ground beneath Prophet Isa began to tremble, and the sky above darkened, as if the sun itself had been blotted out. The once clear day was now shrouded in an unnatural gloom, and a cold wind swept across the land. The first trial came in the form of a fierce storm, with winds howling like the cries of lost souls and rain pouring down in torrents. The storm was relentless, battering the prophet from all sides, yet he stood firm, his faith unshaken. He knew that this was but a test, and he would not allow the storm to divert him from his path. As the storm raged on, the black snake circled around him, whispering words of doubt and fear. "Why do you persist, O prophet? The world is full of darkness, and your light is but a flickering flame in the wind. Why not surrender to the inevitable?" But Prophet Isa did not waver. The light of faith is not a mere flame, but a beacon that can never be extinguished. No storm, no darkness can overcome the light of the Almighty. The storm began to subside, and the winds grew still, as if acknowledging the truth of his words. The first trial had passed, but the snake was not yet done. The second trial came in the form of a great chasm that suddenly opened up before the prophet, a gaping abyss that seemed to have no end. The snake slithered to the edge of the chasm, its eyes gleaming with malice. "Cross this chasm if you dare," it taunted, "but know that one misstep will lead to your doom." Even the greatest of prophets can fall into the abyss, their faith shattered by the depths of despair. Prophet Isa gazed into the chasm, but he did not fear it. The path of righteousness is narrow and fraught with danger, but with the guidance of the Almighty, I shall cross it unscathed. With that, he stepped forward, his foot finding solid ground where none had seemed to exist. With each step, the chasm narrowed until it was no more. The second trial had been overcome, but the snake's eyes still burned with a dark fire. The third and final trial was the most insidious. It came not in the form of a physical challenge, but a spiritual one. The snake began to whisper to Prophet Isa, filling his mind with visions of power and glory. "Why do you struggle, O prophet? You could rule this world, wielding the power that is rightfully yours. The people would bow before you, and your name would be spoken with reverence in every corner of the earth. All you have to do is accept the darkness within you." But Prophet Isa knew that this was the most dangerous trial of all. The temptation of power, the lure of pride, these were the snares that had led many astray. Yet his heart remained pure, his faith unbroken. "My purpose is not to rule, but to serve," he declared. "I seek not power, but the fulfillment of the Almighty's will. The darkness has no place in my heart, for it is filled with the light of faith and love." With those words, the visions faded, and the snake recoiled, hissing in frustration. The final trial had been conquered, and the prophet had emerged victorious. The redemption or destruction of the snake. The black snake, defeated and humbled, slithered before the prophet, its once menacing presence now diminished. It looked up at Prophet Isa with something akin to remorse in its eyes. "You have passed the trials, O prophet," it said, its voice no longer filled with malice. "You have proven that your faith is stronger than the darkness. But what will you do with me now? Will you destroy me as I deserve, or will you show mercy?" Prophet Isa regarded the snake with compassion. He knew that this creature, like all others, was a part of the Almighty's creation. It had once been a being of light before it had been corrupted by the forces of darkness. There was still a spark of that original light within it, a spark that could be rekindled. "You are not beyond redemption," the prophet said gently. "The darkness that has consumed you can be banished if you are willing to repent and return to the path of righteousness." The snake trembled, its eyes filling with tears. "I have wandered in darkness for so long, I had forgotten what it was to be in the light. If you believe that I can be saved, then I will follow your guidance, O prophet." With those words, the black scales of the snake began to shimmer, turning from dark to light, as if the very essence of the creature was being purified. The snake, now a creature of light once more, bowed before Prophet Isa, its heart filled with gratitude. "Go forth," the prophet said, "and use the gifts you have been given to spread the light rather than the darkness. You are no longer bound by your past, but free to choose a new path." The snake, transformed and redeemed, slithered away into the distance, its body glowing with a radiant light that illuminated the path before it. It had been saved by the mercy of the prophet and would henceforth serve as a guardian of the light, a testament to the power of faith and the possibility of redemption. The tale of Prophet Isa and the black snake is one that will continue to inspire and guide those who hear it. It is a story that reminds us of the importance of faith, the possibility of redemption, and the boundless mercy of the Almighty. As we navigate our own lives, facing challenges and temptations along the way, we can draw strength from the example of Prophet Isa. Like him, we can face the darkness with courage and compassion, knowing that with faith in our hearts, we can overcome any trial and bring light to even the darkest corners of the world. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content celebrating the Islamic heritage. Your support really helps spread these important stories and teachings. We hope that Allah brings peace, happiness, and success to you and your family.